So if anybody is unfamiliar on how to create your Threads account, what you can do is you go to threads.net. And that's how you get the app. Okay. Once you get the app, it's going to basically pull in all of um, your Instagram identity. So you don't create a new identity. Oh, not Instagram. What am I doing? Threads. Okay. So what Threads does is, if you're familiar with Twitter, it's very, very similar to Twitter, except the personality is different on Threads. So it's kind of like interesting. So that is how you get into Threads. What it's going to do is it's going to ask you if you want to bring in your bio, so you can say yes or no. But again, your username cannot be changed. It's going to be the same name and identity as your Instagram. It's going to ask you if you want to automatically follow all of the people you're following on Instagram. And I actually regretted saying yes. Okay. Because I realized, like, I want my feed to be different on here. I want like a new experience. And so if you ever like regret that, you can go into, so this is my profile, click on followers. And then what it would do here. Okay. So I have all these pending right now, but these are people when you create when they create their Threads app, it's going to automatically follow them. So these are so 97 people I wanted to like follow. But see that bottom button of cancel all? You can hit that if you regretted saying yes, I'll follow everybody. Okay. And then up here, that's how I see who I'm following. And then over here is all my followers. So again, from my profile, I just hit followers. You get, so you can bring in your bio, but I didn't. I changed my bio because basically I'm doing all these crazy threads as far as like my personality. I said, like, one of the very first threads that I released was about Instagram models. So Instagram models shaking in their boots, having to rely on actual wit and charm. Can't wait for all the reality stars to post their clickbait threads. So anyway, I decided to put like a different personality, a different style in my Threads app. And a lot of people are going to want to connect with you over that. The people who are posting shit like this, for instance, I would not post pictures if I were you. People are unfollowing people who cross post from Instagram, their reels, their pictures, anything like that. Okay. And you'll see a lot of people talking about it like, I am going to unfollow anybody who does this. Now, what's cool is you can also follow businesses, and it's like in Instagram, okay, I'd be following businesses, but they never showed up in my feed. Some of these businesses are like fucking hilarious. So Vital Proteins is hilarious. Duolingo is really funny. I didn't see that one coming. So they post, so memes and GIFs are acceptable to post if they contribute to your funny words or your impactful words, however you want to direct your account. But I do recommend that you be consistent. So don't try posting motivational shit like getting everybody all pumped up today and then be a fucking comedian tomorrow. Like, people who follow you are going to want like a consistent personality. Okay. But Duolingo, smash or pass on Big Bird, I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And Yeah. So anyway, that is hilarious. So there are some businesses like Wendy's, Duolingo, things like that, that are getting a reputation on Threads. Like, oh man, you got to follow them. So down here is the home screen. If I double tap that home icon, it brought me all the way back up. If I want to refresh, I swipe down and it's doing its thing, and then it refreshes my feed. Now, what it's showing me on a feed is what the algorithm wants to show me. Okay. It is not a real-time feed, unfortunately. Now, this feed is people that I follow, and then people based on like what I'm following, do I also want to interact with these people? Okay. Another thing that Threads does is, okay, so here's James. I follow James. I don't follow this Ryan Panetta guy, but I follow James. And so I could see James's comment here. And if I'm interested in any of that, I can follow that guy. And so that's how the connections start happening. Okay. Oh, and American Eagle is also funny. So if you want to go to anybody's profile, you can click that following button. It would say follow, and that's how you follow them. But the other way that you could do it is, see next to Ryan's name, there's that plus sign. If you hit that plus sign or his face, basically, you can follow him without leaving your feed, which is cool. Instagram is a place where I feel I'm pushing out video, pictorial content, basically things that are easy on the eyes, right? But Threads, you do not want to do the same thing with Threads. What you want to do is have basically your thoughts spilling out. It's like your own personal diary, okay? And you can people will start to resonate with you. And I have made like Threads friends who are never on Instagram. People call them Threads. So, and that's how I do it, is basically somebody is posting something or commenting on something, and it's going to show up in my feed. The future of Threads, they said that they will put in a real-time feed option, but for right now, we're at the mercy of whatever algorithm Threads wants to show me. Okay, so this search button is where you search for people's profiles or whatever, and then this is also where it will suggest people for you to follow if you want. Okay. Now, what they plan to add to the search feature in the future is searching for words and phrases that you want like info on. So like you're watching a TV show, because hashtags do not work with Threads, which is interesting. So we all discovered in the first week, hashtags do not pick up anything. What they're going to do is they're going to allow you to like search for terms and words, and they're not hashtags. They're just shit that people's talking about in the middle of their threads. I wanted to go up here and show you guys something. Okay, so these three dots on the right, what I clicked is like my my latest thread right here about I'm terrified to know the amount of time I've spent in my life doing laundry. Okay. Now those three dots on the right, you can dictate who can reply to that certain thread. You can hide the like count just like you can do on Instagram, or that's where you delete the thread if you like have instant regret. Now down here on that same thread, I'm going to hit that 2 replies and 2 likes button, because that's where it's going to take me to find out like what these people said. What these people said in reply. Okay. So I basically have not, the other way that I'm going to show you to get to it is by clicking this heart down here. That is where all your notifications come from. But I happened to be on my profile. I saw that 2 people had replied to it. So I just clicked on the thread and it opened it up. Okay. Now, how Threads works is I started this thread. They kind of keep it going on a loop-de-loop. And if I wanted to reply to this person, it's threading downward, 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 basically. So, and it kind of shows up on the main feed like this. See that loop-de-loop where James replied to Gary V? That's how it starts showing up. It's kind of cool. So like, same thing here. You know, you can see that it's a connected thread to the parent thread. So you read the parent thread, which is on top, and then it's this guy that's responding to it. Okay. But that's not the only way to respond to threads. The other way to respond to threads is if I really like this main thread here. And if you look at that like arrowy circle icon that's next to the paper airplane icon, this is where I can either repost it and just like support it by reposting it on my own profile, or I can quote. I grab that person's thread, I take it into my account, and then I share my thoughts about this thread. Okay. So that is how you do that. And then I'm pressing cancel and then discard. There are a lot of tricks with threads. Okay. So one of the tricks is if I'm writing a test thread and I hit return 3 times, it starts a new thread under that thread. So that's one thing you might want to know, especially if you are the type of person who likes to I'm trying to say, like, I put a lot of space in between my threads. So for instance, I do on my threads, I will hit return a lot. So like down here, for the first time in almost 9-year marriage, I sat on the toilet without checking for the seat status and fell in. So I hit return a couple of times. And if I would have hit return another time, it would have started a new thread under that thread. Okay. Other tricks I recommend is following this guy up top. He's the head of Instagram. Okay. And that was how I learned about threads being released. So I follow him on Instagram. I subscribe to his channel, essentially, or his broadcast, you know, those broadcast channels. That's where I found out about these. So what he does is he posts a lot of tricks here, like hidden gem. If you long press the share button on a thread, it'll pull up the OS share sheet instead of the threads, and one in case you want to get there quicker. Now, let's say I want to share this guy's thread. Okay. I already showed you what I can do. I can repost it. I can quote it. But what about this paper airplane? Well, the paper airplane allows me to either add it to my story, post to, so this is back to Instagram. Okay. Add it to my Instagram story, post to my Instagram feed, tweet it, or just copy the link and text it to somebody or whatever. But so let's say I'm going to add this to my story. It takes me all the way to my story. It has that threads app background and it says via threads down at the bottom. I cannot add music on top of it. I already tried that. So you're really just posting this to post it. You know what I mean? So if you find a funny thread, you know how people like post tweets in their feed from other people? This is the same thing, except it's a lot easier to do. Okay. Okay. So threads. Another cool thing is you can respond to like anybody. Like you can follow all of your idols, you can follow comedians, and whatever they're posting, you can respond unless they have their responses limited to only people they follow or whatever. Now, here is my favorite feature on Threads and how I knew it was going to be a game changer. I'm going to click on my profile, and up here at the top, let's see, it might be under privacy. one thing I want to mention, by the way, is if you block a profile on Instagram, they're already blocked on Threads. Okay, so that's another thing. But see this hidden words thing? If you go to hidden words, you can go here and say custom whatever, and then you manage custom words and phrases. So for instance, if there is somebody like spamming and posting like, I'm going to give $5,000 to the next people that, whatever. And we all see those spam threads basically, or we see it on Instagram, right? You can take a little snippet of that phrase and put it in here and add it. And what's going to happen is they will never show you shit like that on your feed. So as soon as there are words or terms that you're like, yeah, or let's say I'm over like hearing about COVID or something, and I put COVID in there and I don't have to ever deal with seeing it on my feed. Another thing is, while they're showing me stuff in my feed, I'm going to refresh it again. Let's say I don't want to ever see anything from this person again. So I follow her. So obviously I want to see stuff from her, but you can mute them instead of unfollowing. So they never know basically that you didn't want to see their shit. So you can still support them by following them, but you mute them. Okay. And this heart down here is where I find all of my notifications. So who I'm following, who's following me. You can follow people directly back when they follow you, just in your notifications. And I had to refresh my notifications too. So don't forget to like pull down on here as well in order to refresh. You can sort your notifications by people who replied to me, people who mentioned me, and then, or if I only want to see verified people, which I don't ever see that happening. So that is how you find your notifications. And I guess I would just ask, does anybody have any questions? I blew through it pretty fast, but Threads is a really, really cool app that what I want to stress is don't try to sell people on this app. As soon as somebody gets salesy in here, they completely duck out and unfollow you and do anything. So Threads, in my opinion, is where you want to show off your personality. Okay. By the way, you can see up top here on Instagram, I can go directly back to Instagram, and then see up top here is the Threads, and I can switch already over to Threads. Okay. And then up here in the upper left-hand corner is also how you can go to settings and everything. Okay. Also, I can allow everyone to mention me, or only profiles I follow, or none. I can make it a private profile where they have to request to follow me. So I think I covered all of the features. You get one link in your bio, just like on Instagram. So, okay. Oh yeah. And then also to share your profile, that's how you do that, is you hit the share. Anybody have any questions? I don't need to keep this training going forever.
So basically what I'm seeing is that it's like a personal social media profile, like on Instagram or wherever.
Yeah.
And yeah, no photos really needed, but yeah.
Yeah. Like I recommend memes or GIFs if you're going to post any photos, because people want to just like be able to keep scrolling down and reading it super fast.
Gotcha.
Do not post videos. And another cool thing about Threads is nobody wants to hear sound. Okay. So like you go to Instagram to watch all your reels and TikTok like videos, but in Threads, one thing that people love about it is it's a quiet app essentially. So when people start posting videos, they get really like pissed off.
Really interesting.
Yeah, you'll get unfollowed.
Strange. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll look at it. It's kind of cool, I guess.
It's a
Yeah, and
really,
yet
really,
yet another social media platform. Ugh.
yeah, but so why I ended up going after it so hard is I used to love Twitter. And I used to be pretty big on Twitter, like back in 2010 to 2012 era or whatever. But I ended up like kind of letting it go when I got married and all this other stuff. So Threads, I already knew exactly how I was going to play it and how I was going to operate and how I wanted to grow. So I have not a completely different audience on Threads, but quite a different audience on Threads. And like I've already gotten like a pretty big time comedian who has like 100,000 followers. He followed me and he only follows like 200 people. So stuff like that. It's been really fun to connect with people you normally wouldn't connect with. And
Cool.
what else is cool is it's through your words. So that's why I was like cracking jokes about Instagram models, because they have fucking absolutely nothing to offer this app, and they will become irrelevant on this app.
Yeah. We had a
So
discussion about the kind of folks the other day. It's interesting.
all
Yeah.
right. Well, I think I will just go ahead and end this early, because there's no need to just make it an hour for making it the sake of an hour.
All right. Well, I
But
appreciate you. Thanks a lot.